Get ready, because the MMA world is on fire. Islam Makhachev reveals which fighter will face him for the welterweight title defense. Conor McGregor rises from the ashes with a shocking confession about radical treatment that saved his life. John Jones makes an insane prediction about Gable Steveson that will blow your mind, and Belal Muhammad collapses after second consecutive defeat. Stay until the end, because you're gonna freak out. The bomb just dropped and Islam Makhachev is about to bow, define who will be the next challenger to his welterweight throne. The line of contenders keeps growing and now got even bigger after the insane events at UFC Qatar. While everyone was still processing the absolutely devastating victories of Michael Morales and Carlos Prates at UFC 322, which had already put these guys on the champions' radar, Ian Machado Gary shows up to demolish former champion Belal Muhammad on Saturday and steal all the spotlights. Right after crushing Muhammad, Gary wasted no time and went straight after Makhachev, stating that he is the most deserving guy for a title shot right now. And look, the champion wasn't impressed at all, but he didn't completely dismiss this possibility either. In a statement to the media released by Ushitaika, Islam dropped, "Yeah, that would be interesting. He's also a good fighter. He's on a solid winning streak and is young. I think it would be interesting. We'll see. He didn't surprise me yesterday. If he surprised the UFC, then maybe he'll be next." But wait, because the story gets more complex. Gary is riding 2 straight victories after suffering the first defeat of his career when he fell to Shavkat Rakhmonov at the end of 2024. That confrontation was supposed to crown the new #1 contender at welterweight, and Rakhmonov's victory should have guaranteed him a shot against Muhammad, who was champion at the time. But fate played a cruel trick. Rakhmonov got injured and ended up being replaced by Jack Della Maddalena, who went there and ripped the belt away in May. Since then, Rakhmonov remains out of action with plans to potentially return in early 2026. But Makhachev made it clear that the guy needs to do his homework before getting a title shot. The champion was straight to the point. Shavkat hasn't fought for over a year. A contender can't sit out for a year with injuries and then come fight for the belt. We said, hello. He congratulated me. We just shook hands. If he recovers and the UFC decides he's next, why not? But there's another bombastic name that was thrown into the conversation with Makhachev, UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria, who has long been hunting for a fight between them. If Muhammad had defeated Della Maddalena, the plan was for Makhachev to defend his lightweight title against Topuria. As a friend and frequent training partner, Makhachev didn't want to go after Muhammad as champion, but after Della Maddalena won the title, Makhachev relinquished his 155-pound belt to pursue gold at welterweight. Makhachev isn't completely disinterested in facing Topuria, but he's definitely not excited about the idea of cutting weight to lightweight again. And he was too honest about it. It would have to be a very good offer for me to start cutting weight back to 155. Because I'm not young in this sport anymore, and every weight cut takes years off your health. It's not as easy as before to cut weight. Right now, Makhachev is just days removed from becoming a 2-division champion with his dominant victory over Della Maddalena, but he expects to get news about his next opponent in the very near future. His final statement left everyone in anticipation. "I think the UFC will decide soon. Yesterday there was a good fight. A former champion faced a young guy. I think we have at least 3 or 4 contenders now, and soon, probably in about 2 weeks, it will be clear who the next challenger will be." The internet stopped. Conor McGregor ended his social media hiatus and is declaring himself a completely new man. The former 2-division UFC champion returned to Twitter on Sunday to announce to the world, "I am back." This is McGregor's first post since October 6th, when he told fans, "Hey folks online, I'm out of here for a bit, see you again soon." McGregor, 37, has mentioned on multiple occasions his plans to compete at the UFC's White House event in June, which would mark his first octagon appearance since July 2021. But what he revealed in his return will make your spine tingle. In his post, McGregor writes about undergoing a series of treatments to address trauma, specifically citing usage of the psychoactive drug ibogaine. McGregor claims to have met with doctors from Stanford University, which published a study on ibogaine in January 2024, in which researchers attempted to treat traumatic brain injuries in military veterans. According to the study, ibogaine, when combined with magnesium to protect the heart, safely and effectively reduces PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and improves functioning in veterans with TBI. It's not known exactly what treatment, if any, McGregor underwent, but his post was overflowing with enthusiasm and optimism regarding his health. And get ready, because his account is chilling. It was incredible, intense, and absolutely eye-opening. I was shown what would have been my death, how soon it was to be, and how it would have impacted my children. I was looking down on myself as it happened, and then I was looking out from the coffin. McGregor also cited his spirituality as having contributed to his recovery, adding words that will leave you breathless. I was saved, my brain, my heart, my soul healed. I was 36 hours under before I finally rested. When I awoke, I was me again. The most enlightening and enchanting experience I have ever undertaken. This treatment is worth its weight in gold. It is very, very tough, but it absolutely saved my life, and in turn, saved my family. I am my child again, but this time with the knowledge of my adult. Last October, shortly after going silent on social media, McGregor made similar claims of being saved at a BKFC press conference in Italy. McGregor seeks a comeback after over 4 years of inactivity. In his most recent fight, McGregor suffered a broken leg in a loss to Dustin Poirier, an injury that contributed to his lengthy stint on the sidelines. McGregor has also been occupied with entertainment opportunities, with a starring role in the 2024 action film Roadhouse, as well as serious legal issues, including being found liable for sexual assault in a civil suit that was resolved this past December. Strangely, McGregor's Instagram account is currently deactivated, but he's back to posting on Twitter, and the MMA world is going crazy with this return. Jon Jones just dropped a statement that will explode the MMA world. The legendary fighter reacted to Gable Steveson moving to 2 wins and 0 losses as an MMA fighter, and what he said is absolutely insane. The Olympic gold medalist wrestler faced Kevin Hine at Anthony Pettis FC 21 on Sunday night, and what happened was simply brutal. Only 25 seconds. That's all Gable Steveson needed to score a vicious knockout victory over his opponent, who had a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. Post-fight, the 25-year-old called for a shot in the UFC, exactly like he did after scoring a 13-second dirty boxing win last month. Jon Jones has been coaching Gable Steveson since he decided to transition to MMA, and the UFC legend has already expressed his belief that Steveson will become heavyweight champion one day. But now Jon Jones has gone one step further by suggesting his student could hold UFC gold before 2026 is over. And check out the bomb he dropped. Mark my words, Gable will be the most elite heavyweight fighter on the planet within the next 12 months, Jones wrote on his Instagram story, alongside a screenshot from Steveson's latest win. That's absurdly high praise, considering Jones is currently part of the UFC heavyweight division that Steveson could soon join. Steveson's wrestling is what made him a global star, but he seemed keen yet again to show off his striking as he stood and traded with Hine. And the first big right hand that he threw with intent immediately rendered Hine unconscious, although that didn't stop Steveson from taking him down as well. He was quickly pulled off his opponent by the referee. Once it was established, Hine was out. This marked the second first-round victory of his MMA career and his third since moving into fighting. It's usually recommended that a multi-sport athlete, even a renowned one like Stevenson, build up their experience on the regional circuit before heading to the UFC. But given the general weakness of the heavyweight division in all of MMA, he could be fast-tracked straight to the UFC. Stevenson claimed in his post-fight interview that he had been promised a visit by Mick Maynard if he could get back in time from UFC Qatar. However, in the absence of that, he called for a UFC opportunity through any means necessary. And there's more. For Dana White's part, he recently told the Jim Rome Show that the promotion are definitely keeping our eyes on him, and we'll see how this plays out. The anticipation is sky high, and the entire world is waiting to see if Jon Jones's promise will become reality before 2026 ends. Will we see Gable Stevenson with the UFC belt in less than 12 months? Time will tell, but one thing is certain. Jon Jones rarely misses on his predictions. Belal Muhammad is destroyed, but not giving up on getting back to the top of the UFC welterweight division, even after losing his second straight fight. The drama is intense, and this warrior's story is far from over. Muhammad faced Ian Machado Gary in the co-main event of UFC Qatar on Saturday, and the result was devastating for the former champion. In his first fight since losing the title to Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315 in May, Muhammad was defeated by unanimous decision against Ian Machado Gary, being swept on 2 of the judges' scorecards. It was a dominant performance by the Irishman that left Muhammad without answers inside the octagon. Following the painful loss, Muhammad released a brief statement on social media that showed his humility and determination. Check out what he wrote. "We couldn't get it done. Thank you, Doha, for the memories. Thank you to my team and family and friends that are with me no matter what, and thank you to anyone that's with me. Alhamdulillah for everything. I'm blessed to be here. We have work to do." These words show a fighter who, even crushed, maintains dignity and focus on rebuilding his career. Muhammad capped off a long, unbeaten run by defeating Leon Edwards at UFC 304 to capture the UFC welterweight title in July 2024. In his first title defense, Remember the Name was defeated by Della Maddalena via unanimous decision in one of the best fights of 2025. It was the first time Muhammad lost a fight in over 6 years, breaking an aura of invincibility he had meticulously built. Machado Gary picked up his second straight victory and is now 10-1 inside the octagon, hoping that knocking off the former champ will get him a shot at Islam Makhachev and the 170-pound title. The victory was so dominant that it's impossible to ignore Gary's name in the title conversation now. While Belal Muhammad was criticized for not attempting to grapple more against Jack Della Maddalena, his opponent deserved credit for preventing this. This was also the case in his loss to Ian Machado Gary on Saturday night, with the Irishman implementing solid defense, impeccable footwork, and a diverse arsenal of kicks that left Muhammad lost. Simply put, Muhammad's inability to take down his last 2 opponents resulted in him losing, as the stats from his recent defeats show, brutally. Muhammad had some success on the feet against both men, but without him being able to mix in his wrestling, he was fighting a losing battle from the start. The big question now is, will Muhammad be able to make the necessary adjustments and return to the top? Or have his limitations been exposed definitively by 2 fighters who simply nullified his best game? Time will tell, but one thing is certain. Belal Muhammad isn't the type who gives up easily, and we can expect to see him come back stronger and hungrier for redemption.